Okay, so we're going to go over some techniques concerning pasta, a little bit of tips and tricks. First thing, as we said before, a large pot of boiling salted water. So the first part of that equation is the large pot of boiling water. So we talked about sometimes people are a little bit unsure as to what constitutes as a full boil. And this right here, what I've got is a full rolling boil. It's kind of violent. You want to think of it like a hot tub. It should really be, it should look inviting. Obviously you don't really want to stick your hands inside of here, it would hurt. But at this point, once the water is nice and boiling, you want to salt it very liberally. So it's going to look like a lot of salt, and in a way it is, but your pasta is not going to contain all the salt that you put. It's just going to ensure that it is nice and flavorful. Okay, so once we've salted it well, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of oil into the water. And then we have our angel hair spaghetti. Now this would, same principle for cooking macaroni, sheets for lasagna, any other pasta would work just fine. But say you're cooking spaghetti, a quick tip to keep it from sticking, want to twist so that it fans out almost like the hairs of a broom, and then drop it in so that it scatters. And that kind of helps it to not stick. Then you can use your tongs, kind of help it on down into the water a little bit. And then you want to keep this boiling. If for any reason, once you put the pasta in, it stops boiling, you might want to turn the heat up or cover it to allow it to come back up to a boil. And then you just want to occasionally come back and make sure that things aren't sticking together. Move it around a little bit, but you don't really have to constantly be stirring or anything like that. Just want to make sure that the noodles start to separate. Move them around a little bit, and as they cook, they will loosen up a little bit more. So you can come back to those in just a minute or two. Typically for pasta, we're going to cook these noodles for about 7 minutes. Could be 6, depending on how firm you like them. If you want them a little bit more al dente, you might go for 6 minutes versus 7. 7's a pretty run-of-the-mill number for me, but everything from altitude to temperature to humidity, things like that can come into effect. So you really want to keep that in mind. Give this another stir. And the other thing, we have a colander standing by in the sink to drain our pasta. And no, we will not be rinsing our pasta off. That's something that I find a lot of beginner cooks do. It's not necessarily the end of the world, but when you cook pasta, it releases starch into the water. Some of that starch clings onto the outside of the pasta, and if you go rinsing the pasta when it comes out of this water, all that flavor that we've put in there with the salt, the benefits of the oil that we put in there is all washed away and goes down the drain when you rinse it. So you really want to keep that in mind. And something else that you want to do, all of this water that we're cooking the pasta in is actually becoming flavorful as we cook this pasta. It's got the oil, it's got the salt, and some of the starches from the pasta are being released into the water. And this water is something that's typically discarded, but has many, many benefits. It can actually help to thicken a sauce. It can help to even thin out a sauce. And you say, well, how can it thicken and thin at the same time? A little touch of this water with the starch inside of it can help to thicken. You add a little bit more, of course, you can thin it out. You can dilute sauces with it. So there are purposes to it. Plus, it can be used to reawaken pasta that has maybe been setting after you've served the initial amount of pasta. Maybe you've portioned it out and you've left it sitting in the colander in the sink. If you have some of this water on standby, keeping it warm after you've reserved it, after draining, all you'd have to do, dip the noodles back in, they come right back to life, or even pour some of the water over. So as you can see now that the pasta's been in here for about 4 minutes or so, it's starting to become loose. Doesn't hold its shape as much, but I can still feel just in my fingers that this still feels a little bit hard. It's a little bit waxy right now. Don't even need to bite into it to tell that it's not quite cooked yet. So we'll hang out for just a few more minutes, and I'm just making sure nothing's sticking. Everything looks pretty good to me. So we'll give it a couple more minutes. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead at this point and reserve some of the cooking liquid. Got about a cup or so. Set that aside. See, it's nice and hot. You can see that it's not perfectly clear. You've got the oil in it, and you also have some of the starch inside of there, and the salt that we salted the water with. Okay, give this another test. You can see at this point the noodle much more loose, and it sticks to the surface, so that at this point is done. So what I'm going to do now, let's go ahead and kill the heat, remove this, and make my way over to the sink. Okay, now we're ready to drain. Okay, and at this point, to finish this, just a light drizzle of olive oil. Sometimes you might finish it with a pat of butter. Just depends. Give it a little stir, and then this is ready. Now at this point, say you had a marinara sauce or a white sauce or whatever sauce you were working with, you could go ahead and add this into the sauce instead of spooning the sauce over the top. And in that case, you may actually cook the pasta just a few minutes less than what we did strictly in the water, and you can finish cooking it in the sauce. So say maybe 4 to 5 minutes in the water, add another 2 in the sauce, and that'll allow your noodles to kind of soak up the sauce a little bit and make them a little bit more harmonious. But say you're just cooking noodles, do it just the way we did there, finish it with a little bit of oil, and you're ready to go.